Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today we're going to be deep cleaning this Maybach, which is essentially the pinnacle of luxury on top of an S-Class Mercedes, to make it as over the top as possible in terms of just luxury all around. So this car is unique, but it's actually rather dirty on the inside and the outside, and it wasn't very well cared for, and it needs to be deep cleaned. This one is going to turn out amazing, so if you haven't already, subscribe if you're new, turn on those notifications, give this video a thumbs up, and let's get started on the interior and exterior of this car. In last week's video, I had you guys comment down below what would be the nastiest thing that you would find in a car, and everybody commented, and I was going to pick one random person to win a $100 gift card to Amazon, and that person is Jada Nicole, who commented about the last maggot car I did, how that one was a surprise, whereas this one, at least I kind of knew what I was getting into, which is very true, but maggots, regardless, are horrible things. Anyways, congrats Jada Nicole, and let's go ahead and get into the rest of this detail. The one thing you'll notice about this car in particular is the seats have bolsters that move based on what turn you're going around to help support you. They recline, they massage, they have all of these different features in them, plus tons of airbags, tons of electronic sensors, heated, cooled, everything. There's just a ton of complexity with these seats, and when I talked to the owner about it, they said do not remove the seats. They didn't want me to, which is fine. It's just, it worked out well that these seats move so far back and forward and up and down that I really didn't miss a single spot, and luckily there was no carpet stain, so this one turned out perfectly where the seats did not have to be removed, but I wish I could have, just because of how hard it is sometimes to work with these, seats inside of a car and get the footage for you guys to watch the video plus clean at the same time. It's a bit complex, but anyways, the seat stayed in for this detail, but I promise you this thing turned out amazing at the end. Now for these floor mats, we're going to start out by vacuuming them, and then we're going to be spraying our all-purpose cleaner on them because there's a lot of grease that seems like they got onto these floor mats that needed to be cleaned up. and we're going to hit them with a pressure washer to get all of that dirt out of the carpets themselves and make these things look like new. And honestly, one of the easiest ways to get excess water out of your floor mats is to fork it, which this is a rake, but fork it sounds funnier. Anyways, fork it, gets all that excess water out, and then adding carpet stripes is the icing on the cake in my opinion. Now this is the passenger side front floor mat and has this pink stain on it, which I'm not sure if it's either nail polish, some sort of makeup, or it's literally dyed the carpet at this point. And the sad part is I tried using a little bit of paint thinner, I tried using brake cleaner, I tried using a couple different things that typically get out ink or things like that to try to remove it, anything, and it didn't do jack. It literally didn't change the color at all. So as soon as I saw that, I went ahead and pressure washed all that out and re-cleaned it again just to get all that excess, stuff out of the carpets. But sadly, these ones are one of those kind of carpets where if you have a light colored interior carpet and it gets stained, the only option you have is to clean it and sometimes just re-dye it again, which I didn't have the dye for this one in particular, but that is the only option in this case. One thing you might not realize about cleaning cars like this is if you have a super nasty car and you have to convert it into a nicer car, clean it all up, it's actually sometimes easier to start with a complete disaster and make it look like new over a car like this where it is dirty, it needs to be cleaned badly, but it's not like dirty. It means that I struggle with just doing an easy job instead of going that extra mile and looking for every single piece of dirt, every little corner, every single crease, making sure it's absolutely perfect so the car is flawless at the end. So sometimes these nicer, cleaner cars that are not complete disasters take longer for that reason. Now the main thing about this car that needed to be cleaned up were these seats. These white seats are actually tan now and turning brown in certain spots, and for that I'm using my leather cleaner. And I started out with using my detailing brush, but then it soon came to realization that it just needed a more serious brush. So I had my leather bristle brush to attack these seats, get all that dirt, grime removed from the surface before cleaning it up with my microfiber towel. Now the seats probably were maybe a little bit difficult to see, like the actual dirt being removed during the process, but this center console armrest was an easy one to see compared to the front. How dirty these things were and how awesome this leather really is when it's clean and how nice it looks all cleaned up. Now with the seats all cleaned up, now it's time to condition them with my leather conditioner, applying it, letting it kind of dry in as I'm working through the rest of the seat, and then I use a clean microfiber towel to wipe off any excess, so that way it leaves that leather looking like new again. Now, a common question you guys ask about is cleaning the headliner, which luckily I don't have to clean a ton of them because usually those stay pretty clean. But in the certain cases when you do have those dirt spots, I just like to use my Fox Clean detailing brushes, all-purpose cleaner, and then just wiping it clean with a microfiber towel. So that way you don't oversaturate it, you don't cause headliner drooping or cause anything to come unglued from the sealing surface. And just by doing this method, it cleans up most of the stains out there. If you do have more stubborn stains and they're more soaked in, a steam cleaner is also a good option because you can introduce that water after you use all-purpose cleaner to kind of, rinse it out a little bit, but you're not introducing too much water that you cause an issue. Just obviously, whenever you use any of these products or tools, just take your time, don't overdo it, work slowly instead of faster, so that way you don't cause any damage to your car. Now with this being a silver car, lighter color cars always look less dirty, if you will, than a darker color car. But these wheels are a testament to how dirty this car really is, because you can see the fingerprint marks and just some of the hub faces. That's literally just brake dust and dirt coating on them. So the first step is to go ahead and go around on all the wheels and tires, spraying on my acid cleaner and iron remover and all-purpose cleaner all in one mix that I have, which helps pretty much just let it soak into the car the actual wheel itself, any of that dirt kind of gets loosened up before I get to the wash phase.
Always think of you when spring comes, like it's something in the air at that time. Don't know why. Always dream of you when spring comes. It's like the heat on my skin takes me back to the time met you on a Friday, halfway out at the door of the club, playing soul on the...
Now, when I told you guys I got a new pressure washer and foam cannon, I'm not sure you realize how big of a deal that was for me, because it's the perfect combination of orifice size, pressure, everything. Because if you guys see how thick this foam is, wait till you see how slowly it drops off the car. I mean, I'm so happy with this setup. I have it all linked in the description box below if you guys want to check it out.
Leather jacket though is too cold. Saw your face in the crowd and I think without eyes, her just perfect, yeah, she's beautiful.
Now, while all that foam drips off the car, getting any of that dirt on the surface loosened up and dripped off before we get to the wash stage, that's when I like to go ahead and clean the wheels and tires, getting all my tools inside the wheel barrel, behind all those spokes, the face, the lug nuts, and also the tire surface itself completely cleaned before we get to washing the car.
'Cause I swear you deserve everything. Wish that I knew that sooner. We got sober, it was over, but I told you I'll do it all over again. At your place over spring break, a heartache. I'll do it all over again. Do it all over Tell me a lie, and I tell you too. I say that I'm happy for the two.
Now, before we wash the car with our mitts, we're just going to rinse off any remaining foam cannon soap, so that way any dirt on the surface gets rinsed off. And then using the 2-bucket method, wash the outside of the car, starting from the top and kind of working your way down to the bottom. Now, you guys love these drying towels, and I mean, these things are amazing because this one single towel will allow me to dry the entire exterior of the car without having to change towels. I mean, it just soaks up a ton of water, which I sell on foxclean.com, and I can guarantee this, that if you go anywhere else on any other supplier, any other manufacturer, you're not going to find this towel this cheap. I can guarantee it, because I've made sure that you guys get the best price for this towel, and it'll be a game changer for you when you dry your car. It makes it so much faster, not having to switch towels, wring them out, or anything like that. This one towel will get the job done completely. So head over to Fox Clean, like I said, after this video to pick up yours before they sell out again, because they go super, super quick. But once we get this car completely dried, we're going to be using our spray-on ceramic wax, because this owner didn't need a full polish. They didn't want that. And the surface was actually pretty good. And Mercedes paint is known for being a harder paint, so it's more scratch resistant. So we're just going to be putting on our spray-on wax, letting it kind of, haze over, if you will, as we work around the whole car, and then buffing it off clean with a microfiber towel. Now, one trick I've never shown you guys in any of my videos is I take sometimes an interior protectant spray and I use that as a tire gel. And the easiest way to apply it is taking a piece of cardboard that you bend to go inside your wheel well and spray it on the entire surface, wheel face or tire face, and then just wipe it clean. I've found that it lasts pretty much as long as a tire gel, but it's a lot easier to apply, especially when you start getting into those grooves and the treads and all the lettering, whereas a spray just takes care of it in one shot. So let me know if you guys have ever tried that before, what tire gels you like. Let me know in the comments below what your opinion is of that product, or that method, if you will. If you've tried it, and if you haven't, give it a shot. Tell me what you think, and let's go ahead and roll the after shots. One cool thing about this car in particular was how well the leather turned out. I mean, white leather inside of a car always looks amazing, especially when it's perfectly clean, but it gets dirty super fast. And, you know, I wasn't expecting this car to be this dirty when I heard about it, but I was happy to know that at least the car was used. You know, I hate seeing cars sometimes that people own and they don't actually use the car. They don't enjoy it. They're so wound up to making sure it's exactly perfect every single time. And I used to be like this when when I was younger. But nowadays, you can clean up anything. And I hope my videos kind of show you guys that any job or how much dirt, I don't recommend letting roaches get in your car, but getting your car dirty and actually using it, you can always clean it up afterwards. And sometimes just living in the moment, enjoying your car, and worrying about that later on is that's I think one thing that we need to think about sometimes with cars is just enjoy them for what they are and then clean them up later and just take care of them by cleaning them up afterwards. So that's my little rant for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on those notifications, thumbs it up. I'll see you guys next week.